Right now, inside your body, thousands of cells are failing, mutating, or shutting down, and nothing you do can stop it. For most of human history, no one asked why we age, because almost no one lived long enough to notice. A twisted ankle, a bad tooth, a fever in the wrong season. Any one of these could end a life long before the body ever had the chance to slow down. So why, in a world already this dangerous, did evolution never bother to fix aging? To answer that, look closer at what aging actually is. It isn't one single failure. There's a pile-up of small ones happening constantly inside every one of your cells. Each time a cell divides, its DNA is copied, and every copy is slightly worse than the last. At the tips of your chromosomes sit structures called telomeres, shortening with every division, like a shoelace fraying at the end. Eventually, the fraying goes too far. The cell stops dividing. It goes dormant, dies, or turns cancerous. Biologist Elizabeth Blackburn won a Nobel Prize for uncovering this mechanism. Proof that the fraying isn't a flaw. There's a built-in expiration date, ticking inside nearly every cell you carry. Here's the question that should stop you cold. Evolution built the human eye. It built the immune system. It built the impossible machinery that turns one fertilized cell into an entire person. So why not simply keep that body running longer? It isn't a lack of biological tools. Stem cells reset themselves with every division. Certain immune cells regenerate for decades without decline. The ability to resist aging already exists inside you, which means the failure to use it everywhere isn't really a failure at all. It's the outcome of millions of years of selection pressure that never valued long life to begin with. The explanation has a name: the Disposable Soma Theory, proposed by biologist Thomas Kirkwood in the 1970s. Your body has limited energy, and every calorie is split between two competing jobs: repairing cells or reproducing. Repair almost always loses. Picture a hunter-gatherer 40,000 years ago. The odds of reaching 40 were already slim: predators, infections, childbirth, famine. A body that spent its energy on flawless long-term repair instead of early reproduction often left no descendants at all. Evolution doesn't reward the individual who lives longest. It rewards the genes that get copied the most, and genes built for early survival simply won. Biologist George Williams gave this trade-off a name too: antagonistic pleiotropy. Genes that help you when you're young can quietly work against you later. A surge of growth hormone that builds a teenager's body can, decades later, be linked to tumor growth. An aggressive immune system that saves a child from infection can, in old age, fuel chronic inflammation. Evolution never sees that far ahead. It only sees whether you survived long enough to reproduce. Everything after that was invisible to natural selection. Picture a young woman on the savannah, a child on her hip. Nearby, elders sit by the fire, their joints stiff, their skin weathered. They aren't broken. They are proof that a body can keep functioning long after evolution stopped optimizing it. Every wrinkle a gene that already finished its job decades earlier. And yet those elders still mattered. Anthropologist Kristen Hawkes, studying the Hadza, formalized what's now called the grandmother hypothesis. Women no longer able to bear children kept gathering food, kept caring for grandchildren, and kept passing down knowledge that raised the group's odds of survival. Old age, it turns out, paid off, but only because it helped someone younger reproduce. And aging itself isn't universal across the animal kingdom the way we assume. The naked mole rat shows almost no rise in death risk as it ages, living past 30, an absurd lifespan for a rodent its size. Certain rockfish live past 200 years. Greenland sharks live past 400. Evolutionary biologist João Pedro de Magalhães, publishing in Nature Communications, found that longevity isn't capped by biology in general. It's capped by the specific pressures each species faced. Fewer predators, safer environments, slower reproduction. That's what buys slower aging. Humans, for nearly all of our history, never had that luxury. Your body isn't broken. It finished doing exactly what it evolved to do, carry you through childhood, through reproduction, and through raising the next generation to survive without you. But right now, you're living in a time your ancestors almost never got to experience. Anthropologist Herman Pontzer's research on the Hadza found something unexpected. Despite intense daily activity, their total energy expenditure barely differs from a sedentary office worker's. Their bodies adapted to conserve energy, and that conservation is linked to lower rates of chronic disease later in life. Movement doesn't accelerate aging. It signals to your cells that repair is still worth the investment. In 1900, global life expectancy was around 31 years. Today, it's over 70. Your genome hasn't changed. What changed was everything around it: clean water, vaccines, stable food, and modern medicine. None of that erased the trade-off Kirkwood described. The fraying telomeres, the slow inflammation, the cellular wear, it never stopped. You're simply the first generation surviving far past the point your body was ever built for. The disposable soma theory isn't a flaw waiting to be fixed. It's a receipt, proof that somewhere down your family line, for hundreds of thousands of years straight, someone survived long enough to pass you on.